Hi, Kelley Welsh here, and thanks for joining me on A Natural Cook. Today I'm going to take a little bit of time to show you all about herbs. This should be your first stop when you're shopping because herbs can add so much flavor to anything that you buy at the store. Your meats, your vegetables, your sauces, your butters, anything. So what I'm going to tell you about is the kind of herbs that you can get at your local market. I strongly recommend that you get herbs in pots that you can continuously grow at the market because you'll have a perpetual supply of them to keep adding to all of the food that you have in the kitchen. If you buy them at the local market, they'll never have pests. I suggest steering clear of the home improvement stores because a lot of times the herbs get cross-contaminated with other plant pests, and that just breeds problems for you at home immediately when you start growing the herbs. Today I'm going to talk about 5 or 6 different kinds of herbs that are readily available year-round, that are easy to grow and easy to incorporate in any part of whatever you decide to cook. And when we come back from this break, I'm going to show you a few simple ways to take these herbs and turn a $5 plate into a $20 plate in your own kitchen, because you can be a natural cook.
This car is great, but my insurance is going to get sky high.
Whether you're looking for insurance on your home, a new or pre-owned car, motorcycle, or even a boat or personal watercraft, look no further than Affiliated Agency. Situated right on 441 Pine Avenue, they search out the best coverage for you from the many different companies that they work with. Call or go online for a free rate quote and start saving money on your insurance today.
Since 1991, Latinos y Más has delivered delicious contemporary Latin fusion cuisine to Ocala and the surrounding areas. Dine in our uniquely relaxed, casual atmosphere and experience unparalleled Hispanic hospitality. Latinos y Más is perfect for business lunches or romantic dinners, and our homemade sangria makes for the perfect accompaniment to our handcrafted Latin fusion cuisine. Stop in and see why so many people call us the best restaurant in Ocala.
Between work and family commitments, sometimes it can be hard to fit a workout into our schedule. Luckily, Goga Studios is home of the 10-minute no-work workout. All it takes is 10 minutes a day to experience the benefits of whole-body vibration.
I've been a member for 5 months now. Goga has changed my life. It's just a great place to be. It's fun. It's a 10-minute workout. You'll enjoy it so much, and it's easy. I have a lot more energy. You'll really enjoy it. You should come on by.
Dine in excellence and indulge your senses at Ipanema Brazilian Steakhouse. Ipanema's 12 selections of meat are paraded around by the roaming gauchos and carved tableside in endless portions in our beautifully decorated fine dining atmosphere. Complement your rodizio with a selection from our full bar's extensive wine list and our bountiful salad bars stocked with an array of gourmet meats, cheeses, and vegetables. Come and enjoy the heart and soul of the Brazilian experience at Ipanema Brazilian Steakhouse.
Welcome back. What I'm going to do is talk to you a little bit about why I prefer a potted herb. They're fresher, they're easier to get into the ground, they're perpetual, as I mentioned before. This is my first choice when you go to the store. Look for nice, fresh potted herbs that bounce a little bit, that aren't too wet in the pot. If they're too wet, they're going to have root rot, and that's going to be going backwards from the beginning. My second choice when I'm looking for fresh herbs are to go ahead and look for the cut herbs. I have in my hand a little bit of fresh cilantro and a little bit of curly parsley. They didn't have the plants at the market today in this version, but I went ahead and got these bunches, and before I purchased them, I looked in the middle to make sure there's nothing that's getting dark or slimy or starting to fall apart. This happens occasionally at the store because they missed the herbs and vegetables down to make them always look fresh and delightful. Again, I looked in the parsley and it all looks really good. My third choice, and it's not a bad choice, I'll go for a plastic bag of herbs if I'm looking for a specific kind, but you have to be really careful. Look past the printing that's on the bag and look carefully in the bag and make sure that you don't see any water or any sliminess in the bottom of the bag. You want to get exactly what you're paying for. Now, to start with, I'm going to talk about the 3 most common herbs that everybody is really familiar with. Fresh basil, This herb is awesome. Most people could associate this with Italian food, but it's also a very strong player in Greek and in Asian food. There's many, many varieties of basil. There's chocolate basil, Thai basil, spicy basil, lemon basil. This is your common garden variety basil, which is also known as sweet basil. It's really, really aromatic, and it's something that goes, in my opinion, with just about everything. There's not really a wrong way to use basil. The next big player on the scene is going to be oregano. Oregano comes again in many forms. There's Mexican oregano, Greek oregano, all different kinds. This is just your common garden variety Greek oregano. It's very delicious, it smells lovely, and you can add all kinds of punch to meats, vegetables, and whatever you're cooking with. Again, this is a good all-around herb, and it's most commonly used in pizza. When people are having pizza, they always want to have oregano on it. I prefer to have fresh oregano over the dried. It tastes so much better, and the smell is awesome. The other major player on the scene is fresh rosemary. This is a very nice plant that you can grow on your property. It doesn't even have to stay in the plant window. It's impervious to the cold for the most part, and it does really well when you absolutely ignore it. You can clip it, you can shape it, but the best part about it is it has, again, a nice aroma, but it goes very well with a good variety of things. A lot of times, just a little pinch of this in some simple soup will make an excellent flavor boost. You can add this to an herb vinaigrette that you make. You can do just about anything with rosemary. It takes a little bit of imagination, but once you get to where you are constantly incorporating fresh herbs into your diet and into your grocery shopping list, you will find yourself wanting to include them in just about anything that you can. Not only are they healthy for you, but they are very, very important in spicing up your diet to not have such a bland palate in the kitchen. Remember, we're trying to eat away from things that are in boxes. Stuff that's in boxes doesn't really include any fresh herbs. If you look at the package of meats that are packaged in boxes, it has dehydrated this and dried that and additives and preservatives. These don't have anything of the sort, but they also add very important flavor to your diet. Another player on the scene, parsley. It gets ignored a lot. It gets kicked to the wayside as a garnish on most diner plates. Parsley is a really good flavor that you can add just as simple to butter. If you go out to a restaurant and they bring an herb butter to you, a lot of times it's just parsley that's been chopped up very fine and mixed in by hand or machine with some softened butter, and the longer it stays in the butter, the more flavorful it comes. Butter actually brings out more of the flavor in parsley, so that's just one use that you can simply add to your pantry to make something more tasty in your own kitchen. Parsley also works really well with ham. It's better when you add it to vegetables. The flavor itself comes out on its own as soon as you chop it. It starts not only enhancing the vegetable that you have, but the vegetable itself or the meat will enhance the flavor of the parsley. Going back to the basil, this is really awesome when you just chop it up and put it in a salad mix. It's great in tomato sauce, it's great on pizza, but you can use basil in so many other ways. As I said, chopping it up into a salad mix is delicious. Another way to use it is to take it and take a fistful of this and throw it into your vegetables right at the very end, whether you're taking them off the stove or taking them if you've heated them or reheated them in a microwave. Chop some fresh parsley on the cutting board, and just as the vegetables are coming out and they're steaming up, throw the basil on the top of them, and it will make the flavor come out, and it definitely will enhance the vegetables. The most important thing before I tell you anything else about the other herbs that I have here is to remember to chop them only before you're going to use them. That preserves the best flavor you can possibly get out of the herbs. If you chop the herbs and leave them setting on the cutting board, it's going to make your kitchen smell really good, but the essence of all of those herbs is escaping into the air. And where you want the herb flavor to go is into whatever it is that you are enhancing, whether it's a meat, a butter, a sauce, a vegetable, a soup, whatever you're trying to enhance. Remember that the herb needs to go in at the very last minute to be able to capture the most of the flavor. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, I'm going to talk about some other herbs that don't quite make the popularity list, but they all have a great value. They're a little stronger and a little trickier to use, but once, as I said before, you get used to having herbs incorporated into your regular cooking, you're going to be looking for excuses to use these herbs.
Nature and music join together on the beautiful Withlacoochee and Rainbow Rivers. Singing River Tours offers tours daily from Anglers Resort and the Blue Gator Restaurant in Denellen, Florida. Tours for 2 to 20 people last about an hour and a half as Captain John shares information on the wildlife and ecology of these beautiful rivers. Bring your cameras and binoculars to capture memories of the scenic rivers and wildlife. Tours are by reservation only. Call 352-804-1573 or visit their website, singingrivertours.com.
Vitalized Nutrition Company is a new local health food store offering a knowledgeable, caring staff dedicated to bringing you discounted prices every day. Vitalized Nutrition stocks a variety of nutritious foods, clean sports nutrition supplements, all natural personal care items. We stock top quality brands like Garden of Life, New Chapter, Solgar, and others. We also love to take care of your special orders and requests. Experience a fresh take on healthy living. Shop Vitalized Nutrition Company today.
Ladies, would you like perfect eyelashes all of the time without using mascara? Reflections of You is proud to offer Extreme Lashes eyelash extensions. Each eyelash extension is individually adhered to your original lashes to give you a naturally full look for up to 3 weeks. Complete your look with great lengths, color-fast hair extensions, perfect for thickening, lengthening, and chemical-free highlights. They last up to 5 months. Call Sherry at 352-622-1475 to schedule your appointment. Give yourself the gift of magic nails. Let the friendly and professional staff make your nails look fabulous. Manicures and pedicures, acrylic or gel, it's your choice. Your nails will look beautiful, and make sure you enjoy the relaxing spa pedicure. Open 6 days a week, appointments or walk-in. Come see how great Magic Nails makes you look and feel on Easy Street in Ocala.
Welcome back. For this part, I'm going to show you a couple of the herbs that aren't quite as popular. They're not quite as well stocked at the grocery store or your regular market, but they are very important to expanding your horizons and making the food that you cook in your kitchen more interesting. I'm going to bring up some cilantro here. It's also known by coriander. The dried seeds are coriander seeds, but fresh cilantro is awesome. When you put this in sour cream, it changes the taste and the smell of it. The enzymes in the sour cream bring out some of the flavor of the herb that you can't taste just by breaking off a piece and putting it in your mouth. This is also excellent for making a straight salad dressing with some balsamic vinegar. And I can't tell you, this is the one herb that you can use the entire herb. You can use the stem, you can use it from top to bottom. A lot of times herbs have very bitter stems and you need to peel off the leaves from it because it adds bitterness that you don't want to whatever you're cooking or preparing. Cilantro is the exception to the rule. It's a very heavily used herb in Mexican and Asian dishes, but you can use it forever you want. It doesn't have to be for guacamole or Mexican style dishes. It's very, very versatile, and once you get used to the flavor of it and using it in other places other than traditional Mexican or Asian dishes, you'll find that it can really add a lot of zing to some of the things that you're preparing in your kitchen. As I said before, parsley, it gets pushed off to the wayside like a garnish, but curly parsley, as I said before, is very good for adding to vegetables and ham. Flat leaf parsley is also a big player. It has a little bit of a stronger flavor to it, but it also has a distinct flavor that brings in that earthy, delicious, fresh appeal that you look for when you're thinking of fresh vegetables or a garden fresh plate. Flat leaf parsley can bring that flavor right home. It's a very, very overlooked herb. It's available a lot of times at the market, only in bunches. Today I was lucky and I was able to get a potted version, so I'm gonna have perpetual herbs on my hands with the flat leaf parsley. And I'll be able to use it in conjunction with other herbs. It doesn't have to be used just alone. It can be used to amplify other herbs as well. Another big player on the scene that gets overlooked is Fresh thyme. This is a very traditional French herb. It's used in a lot of French dishes, but it can get very overbearing very quickly. So on this note, you need to be careful with the amount that you use. I would say that one thing that is distinct about thyme is when you smell it, it's a very strong smelling herb, and that smell factor correlates to the taste factor. When it smells very strong, it's going to taste very strong when it comes to thyme. And again, even though it's a little bit of a pain in the neck, it's better when you take the individual leaves off by stripping it off the stem, because thyme can have a very, very bitter aftertaste with the stem, and you definitely do not want that to go into a soup. You can get away with it a little bit on meats, poultry, that type of thing, but when you start getting bitter stems into a soup, that bitterness permeates through the liquid and it makes the whole thing have a bitter tilt to it. So you want to avoid getting these kind of stems into your liquid additions. Another well overlooked herb is dill. Dill is a major player in a lot of things that you don't even realize besides pickles. It goes into a lot of meats. It goes into corned beef when they're pickling it, using that as part of the spices to get the flavor that you get in corned beef. It's used in a lot of salad dressings. It's used in a lot of low sodium products or low or no salt products because it enhances that salt flavor. It tricks your tongue and your brain to think that you're having a little more salt than you are. So this is one good herb to use in moderation because again, it has a very, very strong flavor to it, but used in moderation, you can a lot of times just completely skip the salt. Fresh mint is one of my favorites. Mint is really excellent to get into pesto. If you're making a basil pesto or just an herb pesto, you can use fresh mint in just small quantities. I wouldn't put more than 10% of the entire volume of the herb that you're using, but mint tends to draw out flavors of other herbs. It also adds a little bit of a peppery bite to things. So without having spiciness or something that's really hot, like a jalapeno pepper or a chipotle pepper, you can add a little bit of spice to your dish, especially with vegetables when you add mint. The other thing that I like about mint is it absolutely works delightful with fruits. If you take a fruit salad with fresh summer fruits or any fruits that you can get, and you just chop up a little mint and toss it in with the fruit, it will enhance all of the flavors of the fruit. It makes the fruit want to stand alone each bite. It doesn't become a big bowl of mixed up fruit that sometimes absorbs all the flavors of the other fruits and becomes one generic taste of fruit. Mint will help keep the fruit that you put in the bowl standing alone, so each bite you put in your mouth, you can taste the value of that fruit. Now, tarragon is one of my favorites. This is a really strong herb, and you have to use it in small quantities or it can overtake the entire dish. But it's exceptionally good with shellfish, seafood, asparagus. Oh my gosh, I love asparagus and fresh tarragon. The best thing to do is take about half of what you think that you're going to put as far as herbs go. Take a good smell. Tarragon has a little bit of a licoricey, anise value to it, and it is a very strong herb, as I have mentioned, but you can take a little bit and add a little bit at a time. I would strongly suggest that you take a small quantity, maybe a tablespoon of chopped tarragon to a pound of vegetables, toss it in, let it sit for a little bit, taste the vegetables, and just make sure that the tarragon is not overtaking. This is a very young leaf tarragon and it has good flavor to it, but when you come across tarragon that's a little bit older, the leaves are about twice as long as this and they're twice as strong. So again, I say that you have to be careful when you're adding tarragon to anything to not have it overtake the dish. Now, as we look at all of these herbs that we have here today, each one of them can stand on their own, but there's some really good mixes that you can put together, like tarragon and fresh thyme. That goes really nice together. A little bit of each. They're both very strong herbs, as I mentioned, but you can, a little bit goes a long way, and you can judge by your own taste factor, and I urge you to experiment. Experiment with the herbs. You really can't ruin anything if you go a little bit at a time. The other thing I wanted to mention is when you're clipping herbs off of your plant, You want to clip very close to the bottom and very close to the soil. So if the plant is going to regenerate from that point, it can do it from the very bottom and get as bushy and stay as healthy as possible. You can clip near the top if you only want a little bit, but find a joint on the plant to where you're going down to the next area of growth. So where that area of growth starts again, it bushes out nicely and it keeps the plant nice and healthy. If you leave a big long stem at the top from where you've clipped off, it just forces the plant to devote energy to a stalk that's not going to produce very much, and it makes your herbs become very leggy and not as fruitful as they possibly could be. And if you're going to take the time to grow them the best you can so you can get the most out of your harvest. I also suggest using parsley and oregano together. I love flat leaf parsley and fresh oregano together. They seem to be like this little secret marriage that goes together. They very, very much complement each other, and they stand alone by their own, but this is a good example of taking flat leaf parsley and putting it with the oregano so the two of them can enhance each other and make even better. All of these herbs have one great value. You can add any one of these herbs to mayonnaise, oils, whether it's canola, sunflower, safflower, olive oil. You can add them to butters. You can add them to sour cream. These are all simple ways to enhance either a sauce or a base for a sauce. It's certainly more interesting when you start making a salad dressing that you're making a vinaigrette and you're going to be using olive oil. It's certainly a lot more interesting if you have that olive oil infused with a little bit of an herb to give it a little bit of a subliminal lift to the whole flavor. It'll carry the flavor of all of the rest of your herbs. It adds dimension to the type of things that you're doing. It's so easy to add dimension to your entire kitchen lineup. When you're shopping, if you shop for herbs first, you can go along and pick out any kind of meat that you want, because adding herbs is going to add flavor to all of those meats. It's going to add flavor to all of the vegetables that you're shopping for, and it's so easy to do.
Why would you buy your meat at the same place you buy your shoes? Bellevue Meats has a large variety of quality all-natural meats, and our friendly and knowledgeable staff can help you select the perfect cut. For the best variety at an amazing price, why not try one of our variety packs? Starting at just $30, they're perfect for barbecues or just stocking up your fridge with great-tasting, high-quality meats. If you're in the market for meat, go to a meat market, not a department store. Bellevue Meats. Quality, value, service.
Whether you're thinking of nature's theme park or our beautiful Greenway trails, Ocala is known for outdoor adventure. Canyon Zip Line takes outdoor adventure to new heights. Our canopy tour features 9 exciting zips, including the highest and fastest in the state, as well as the one-of-a-kind Super Zip. For those who prefer their adventures closer to the ground, our horseback tour is perfect. You'll be greeted at the Welcome Center and led to the riding stables, where you'll embark on a trek across our beautiful 100-acre property. Call 352-351-ZIPS and schedule your adventure today.
Welcome back. I'm going to wind it up here with showing you a couple of quick recipes that's going to take your average kitchen pantry to Fantasterico in 2 minutes flat. Watch. One of the things that you can do as soon as the show is over, this is so easy. Get out a half a stick of butter, maybe a whole stick, because you're probably going to want to eat more of it. Leave it out on the counter to soften up. Do not cheat by putting it in the microwave. It doesn't work, okay? Leave the butter out to soften up. Chop up a nice fistful of parsley into it. Too much is not enough. Chop it up, mash it into the butter. If the butter is unsalted, add a little bit of salt to it. Leave it out on the kitchen counter for about 45 minutes to an hour before you put it back in the refrigerator. Put it in a container. You can put a tight lid on it. It'll last you for up to a month, and the parsley will stay nice and green within the butter because the butter keeps the oxidation process from happening because it seals the air off of the parsley. It also makes some dynamite butter to put on anything you feel like eating with butter. The other thing I want to tell you that's super easy, you can take a $1.50 jar of mayonnaise and turn it into a $5 sauce immediately. My favorite here, the fresh tarragon. Take the mayonnaise and take about a quarter of the volume of the mayonnaise that you have, take that and put tarragon in it. Make a nice green tarragon, flecked all throughout the mayonnaise, and then fold it into the rest of the mayonnaise. This makes for a very nice sandwich spread. It makes for a nice dollop on top of even eggs. As far as you can tell, it would almost be like a fake hollandaise. I know I'm just telling you mayonnaise, but once it gets hot, mayonnaise is just oil and lemon juice. And when you add tarragon to it, it completely takes the flavor to another realm. So try this out. The last thing I'm going to tell you about is how easy it is to make a quick appetizer with readily available year-round things at the market. Go to the market and either look for cherry tomatoes. They're in season a lot of times during the holidays, or you can get some good fresh vine-ripe tomatoes. Look for the nice red ones that are getting to be nice and ripe because you're going to use them that day. Take the tomatoes, chop them in half, and go to your cheese section when you're shopping for the tomatoes and look for some fresh mozzarella. A lot of the supermarkets have that readily available. It's become very, very popular. It comes in small ovaline balls, or it'll come in a ball that's about 4-inch ounces. Regardless of the size of the cheese, you're just going to cut it up into small pieces, toss it with the tomatoes, and add my other favorite and probably half of America's fresh basil. Chop the basil up real fine and add it to the cheese and the tomatoes first. Then just drizzle a little bit of extra virgin olive oil and maybe some salt and freshly cracked pepper, and you have an awesome appetizer that took less than 10 minutes. If you have any further questions about ideas or need them for things that you want to do with herbs or just simple questions, you can email me at anaturalcook@gmail.com. I wanted to take a little bit of time to thank all of the sponsors that really make this show possible, because my goal is to make sure that you know that you can be a natural cook. Thank you for joining me today.
But I like it.